Bienvenue sur Métal, Maniaques, un balado d'Horreur Québec où je, sous-signé Christophe G, m'entretiens avec des métalleux tripeux d'horreur. Salut tout le monde! Hey, vraiment content de vous présenter cet épisode-là, le 7e épisode. On a vraiment eu de la visite de luxe pour cet épisode-ci. Épisode, je dirais, Halloweenesque, pour le mois d'octobre, le 13 octobre. Nul autre que Buzz Osborne. Buzz Osborne, si vous le connaissez pas, c'est le leader des Melvins, un band qui a été fondé au début des années 80, ultra influent, des contemporains, même, en fait, qui ont influencé les Nirvana, toute la vague grunge. Eux, ils étaient là bien avant. Puis c'était pas du grunge, c'était tellement inclassable, les Melvins. Mais Buzz Osborne, j'ai jasé de plein de trucs super intéressants. Vous allez pouvoir voir ça tout de suite après la chronique. On a parlé de rock, on a parlé de ses premières influences, de Jimi Hendrix, de Who, Kiss. On a parlé de films d'horreur, évidemment. Mais quand on parle de Buzz Osborne, de films d'horreur, Alex et moi, ça a été un no-brainer. N'est-ce pas, Alex? Salut!
Allô, salut.
On s'est dit que on n'avait pas le choix de parler d'un album en particulier de son band, son side band, si on veut, side project, qui s'appelle Fantômas, un band que j'aime beaucoup, évidemment. C'est pas un secret pour personne, je l'ai sûrement parlé plusieurs fois dans le podcast. Il me semble que je suis un fan fini de Mike Patton, mais l'album Director's Scott 2001, deuxième album du groupe, c'est un chef-d'œuvre. En tout cas, pour moi, personnellement, c'est quelque chose d'assez majeur. Puis Alex, pourquoi cet album-là, il est si excellent? Hein?
Écoute, d'abord, je précise, ou en fait, je précise, mais je voulais juste souligner qu'en plus, cet album-là de Director's Scott est sorti en 2001, donc il célébrait ses 20 ans.
Oui, c'est vrai, c'est un anniversaire.
Fait que ça fait 20 ans. Bon, puis là, tu parles de Buzz Osborne, justement, Melvins, c'est son projet principal. Dans le fond, de Director's Scott, pourquoi c'est comme tu dis, un no-brainer qu'on en parle, c'est que non seulement c'est un projet, c'est un quasiment, pas quasiment, c'est un all-star band, là, si on veut.
Oui, tout à fait.
Fantômas regroupe 4 musiciens, donc le Buzz Osborne, il y a Dave Lombardo à la batterie qu'on connaît avec, évidemment, Slayer, ex-drummer de Slayer, mais qui est maintenant avec Suicidal Tendency. Je ne sais pas si c'est encore avec eux, mais
depuis une couple d'années. Les Misfits aussi.
C'est lui joué avec plein d'autres musiciens.
Réunion.
Exactement.
Ouais, c'est ça, Grip Inc. Il y en a plein. Il dit oui à plein de choses, mais c'est comme... C'est une légende, là. C'est écœurant qu'il soit là-dedans. Surtout un band aussi expérimental.
Ouais. Sinon, il y a Trevor Dunn qui est à la basse, donc qu'on connaît pour son apport dans Mr. Bungle, notamment. Et tu l'as dit, Mike Patton, qui est à la voix, un chanteur incroyable, versatile, qui est de plein de projets, dont Fate No More, le groupe dans lequel il a été principalement connu. Mais après, il a fait tellement de choses avec sa voix. Il a vraiment... Son instrument, il a vraiment exploité. C'est un des grands chanteurs contemporains, je trouve. Il expérimente beaucoup.
Tellement. Il est fort. Moi, c'est comme... quand tu dis j'ai un idole dans la vie, moi, Mike Patton, c'est vraiment l'artiste le plus incroyable que j'ai jamais rencontré. J'ai déjà rencontré brièvement.
Chanceux.
Mais à 12 ans, Fate No More, j'ai entendu l'album The Real Thing, ça a changé ma vie. Ça m'a ouvert l'esprit complètement. Un band qui peut passer d'une tune super métal à quelque chose de piano, bar, puis de la bossa nova, des covers complètement débiles.
Ouais.
Puis avant ça, lui, il était dans Mr. Bungle, qui était encore plus mon gars à la batterie.
C'est ça. Quand tu fais la somme de ces 4 musiciens-là qui se réunissent pour le projet Fantômas, tu sais que tu t'attends à quelque chose qui va être complètement éclaté, qui va te défoncer les tympans parce que des fois, c'est extrêmement élevé.
Ouais.
Puis c'est complètement éclaté. Puis là, pourquoi Director's Cut?
Ouais, puis juste une petite parenthèse avant Director's Cut. Quelque chose qui est intéressant avec le band Fantômas, c'est que Mike Patton a fondé son étiquette de disque pour pouvoir sortir cet album-là. L'étiquette IPCAC Recordings avec son gérant Greg Workman, puis ils se sont dit, ça serait le fun de pouvoir avoir un endroit où Mike Patton pourrait sortir tous ses projets puis les avoir tous au même endroit, parce que ce bon gars est un endroit, il y a différents trucs, puis le numéro 1, là, c'était l'album éponyme ou Amenaza El Mundo. Amenaza al Mundo, hein, c'est le premier disque qui était comme une espèce, là, on le voit mal parce que la pochette est comme aluminium.
On le voit là, oui.
Puis c'est comme des petites scénettes, il y en a 30. C'est comme si c'était des cases de BD parce que l'inspiration Fantômas, ça vient effectivement d'une bande dessinée. Mais c'était quelque chose de très, très, très étrange et expérimental et noisy et difficile à apprécier pour le commun des mortels, on s'entend. Et quand ils sont arrivés avec Director's Cut, ils sont arrivés avec un album, c'est quasiment l'album le plus pop, là, si on veut.
Oui, puis c'est l'album, je pense, le plus connu du band et le plus apprécié, je dirais aussi, parce que, justement, on arrive avec des thèmes de films cultes qui sont revisités à la sauce Fantômas. Donc, c'est sûr que ça tire dans tous les sens.
Ouais.
Mais en même temps, ce qui est intéressant, en fait, c'est que, on parle de films cultes, mais principalement, on est dans les films d'horreur, un petit peu sci-fi, série B, suspense. Ouais. Majoritairement. Il y a des trucs un petit peu plus qui vont dans d'autres directions, mais majoritairement.
The Godfather, mettons. Tu sais,
mais The Godfather a quelque chose d'absolument inquiétant aussi, la façon dont c'est présenté. C'est un des titres, c'est le premier titre de l'album. Là. C'est avec ça que l'album ouvre. Et il y a quelque chose quand même de... Si le thème du parrain, tout le monde le connaît, puis ça n'a rien à voir avec l'horreur ou le métal, mais la façon dont c'est réinterprété puis réimaginé, c'est tellement, c'est quasiment inquiétant puis angoissant, c'est hallucinant. Mais sinon, on a vraiment d'autres titres de films d'horreur qui datent pas mal des années 60, 70. On est beaucoup dans ces eaux-là aussi au niveau des références. Hein.
Ouais. Puis ça, pour la petite histoire, là, c'est Mike Patton, il est arrivé avec la liste des chansons. Il a dit, les gars, on fait ces tunes-là. Parce que c'est vraiment son projet. On en reparlera un peu plus tard, mais même le premier album, il avait fait un démo qui avait joué tous les instruments. Puis Buzz Osborne, dans l'entrevue, puis pas dans l'entrevue qu'on va entendre après, mais je l'ai déjà entendu dire, moi, je suis arrivé, puis tout était déjà là sur le démo. Puis, Patton, c'est le compositeur. Puis, il arrive, puis nous, on joue qu'est-ce que lui veut, c'est sa vision. Puis, c'est ses goûts, là, c'est ses films préférés. Il arrive, puis il refait les thèmes. C'est absolument incroyable. Moi, un de mes préférés, excuse-moi de te couper, Alex.
Non, mais vas-y, de toute façon, je m'en allais justement te demander c'était quoi, toi, tes titres préférés, justement, de cet album-là?
Mon préféré, je pense, c'est la tune la plus élevée de l'album. C'est le thème de The Omen, que j'ai mis au vidéodisque, là. C'est tellement corrosif, là. C'est tellement épeurant. Puis j'ai réécouté le film récemment parce que j'ai été invité sur un podcast pour en parler. Puis c'est tellement un excellent film. C'est Richard Donner, là, qu'on a perdu cette année. C'est un grand réalisateur qui a touché à tellement de genres.
Ouais. Puis la musique originale aussi, qui est signée par Jerry Goldsmith. Qui est un très grand compositeur de musique de film. Jerry Goldsmith, je pense qu'il a signé aussi la trame sonore de Poltergeist, si je ne me trompe pas. Et Gremlins.
Il n'a pas fait Superman.
Superman, c'était John Williams. Jerry Goldsmith, il a fait Poltergeist, puis il a signé la trame sonore des Gremlins. Mais The Omen, c'est le thème de The Omen. Déjà en partant, c'est une des musiques les plus épeurante, inquiétante, et qui a été écrite pour un film d'horreur. Je pense que le thème c'est déjà quelque chose de penser de faire un chant qui se rapproche, mettons, d'une musique de chœur religieuse, tout ça, comme un extrait d'une messe, mais une messe satanique qui a vraiment repris Puis, comme tu dis, la version de Fantômas sur Director's Cut, c'est tellement violent, là. Ça démarre d'une façon inquiétante, puis après ça c'est comme tu le dis, c'est corrosif.
Puis le riff, là, tu sais, tu fais comme, oh my God, il a amené ça jusque-là, là, tu sais, c'est pas du petit métal, là, tu sais, puis c'est vraiment un métal qui est difficile à définir, le métal de Fantômas, parce que, bon, comme je le disais tantôt, c'est un métal qui est expérimental, mais, c'est des instruments de base, guitare, basse, batterie, voix, sauf que il y a beaucoup de bruit aussi, il y a beaucoup de bruitisme, tu sais, les cymbales, c'est super important. Patton aussi, il fait plein de voix différentes, triturées, modifiées. Tu sais, des fois, on dirait qu'il chante comme une voix de soprano, des fois, c'est chuchote. Puis, évidemment, tu sais, il y a du growl aussi qui pop à gauche, à droite.
Il y a beaucoup de texture dans sa voix, puis aussi dans l'enrobage. Puis en même temps, tu sais, on parle de métal, mais ça va souvent dans le métal extrême. Tu sais, quand ils décident d'aller dans l'extrême, ils vont à fond, là. Fait que des fois, on est proche quasiment, tu sais, t'as du blast beat, t'es proche du death metal, du grindcore, mais noisy en plus.
Ouais, c'est sûr que c'est vraiment intéressant parce que justement, c'est pas les tunes. Puis là, bon, OK, on parle de cet album-là, c'est des chansons qui durent 3 minutes, puis des chansons qui n'avaient pas de paroles, des fois aussi, que Patton a décidé d'en inventer, d'en rajouter, tout ça. Rosemary's Baby. Es-tu cool?
Ça, encore là, c'est déjà à la base, c'est un thème, c'est comme une espèce de berceuse un petit peu sombre, il y a un petit côté étrange. Enfantin, mais il y a quelque chose de décalé aussi dans l'original. Fait que c'est sûr que le matériel qu'il a choisi déjà à la base avait quelque chose en partant, c'est sûr, c'était déjà marquant, mais toujours son exploration. Puis tu sais, on dit que c'est lui qui a fait le projet, mais je pense quand même que la part des autres musiciens est non négligeable dans les arrangements et dans le travail de groupe, là, parce que la façon dont les musiciens vont jouer puis aller chercher les trucs, c'est un peu aussi de leur personnalité qui s'intègre dans la musique. Mais oui, le thème de Rosemary's Baby est vraiment... La voix que Mike Patton utilise pour ça, c'est
on dirait qu'on est chez Goblin des fois, là, tu sais, un peu de ça aussi.
Un peu de ça, puis le côté éclaté, puis les côtés qui changent beaucoup, puis je pense que Buzz Osborne en parle dans l'entrevue, si ma mémoire me joue pas de tour, là. Il parle je pense qu'il a parlé de Frank Zappa un petit peu dans ses influences. Puis Zappa, ça n'a rien à voir avec le métal, mais c'est un musicien qui a exploré, qui a fait beaucoup de choses, puis le côté aussi même humoristique, parce qu'il y a quelque chose des fois de ludique, puis même si c'est inquiétant, il y a toujours un petit côté jeu.
Oui, un son de cartoon qui pop de nulle part.
C'est ça, comme on peut avoir entendu dans Mr. Bungle aussi, fait que ce côté ludique, ce côté éclaté, puis il n'y a pas de barrière. Fait que ça, je pense que ça transparaît aussi dans la musique du groupe. Puis parmi les autres thèmes, là, on va pas tous les nommer parce qu'il y en a comme, je pense qu'il y a 16 titres, là, mais ce qui est intéressant aussi, c'est, moi, un que j'aime beaucoup, mais c'est un film que j'aime beaucoup aussi, c'est Spider Baby.
Oui.
Je trouve qu'ils ont fait quelque chose de vraiment métal, un peu quasiment à la White Zombie, un peu groovy. Puis cette tune-là, la tune d'ouverture, c'est la tune d'ouverture de ce film-là, Spider Baby, qui est un film de la fin des années 60, avec Sid Haig. Captain Spaulding, qui était tout jeune, quasiment méconnaissable même dans le film. Là. Il y avait des traits vraiment...
il semblait d'un pinhead, un peu de freak show. Là, pas de cheveux, mais très étrange.
Puis au début, il y a Lon Chaney aussi qui joue, Lon Chaney Jr. qui joue dans le film.
Rôle, très cool, celui-là.
Ouais, moi j'aime beaucoup ce film-là. Film en noir et blanc. C'est vraiment weird comme film. C'est vraiment. Je trouve que c'est un film d'Halloween. Là. Puis,
c'est un peu un précurseur de Texas Chainsaw Massacre, là, une espèce de famille de freaks. On n'est pas dans les ossements, puis ils sont cannibales un peu, me semble, dans le film. Hein?
Ouais, il y a un côté, ça joue un petit peu avec ça. Puis c'est ça, le thème au début, ce que je voulais dire, c'est la présentation, c'est comme un dessin animé. Je ne sais pas si tu te souviens, mais le générique au début, c'est comme un cartoon avec cette musique-là. Fait que là, je trouve qu'on retrouve un petit peu ce côté-là aussi dans ce qu'ils ont fait. C'est vraiment un thème que j'aime beaucoup. C'est un peu plus léger que The Omen puis Rosemary's Baby.
Oui.
Là, mais
là, en plus, tu dis ça fait penser à White Zombie. Ça fait tellement parce que, tu sais, Rob Zombie, fan fini de ce cinéma-là, justement, dans l'album La Sexorcisto, il y avait une tune qui s'appelait Spider Baby, justement. Ça n'avait pas de lien avec la tune thème du film. Mais, tu sais, Sid Haig aussi, évidemment, il l'a ramené un peu. Il a fait son Tarantino. Hein. Il a ramené des boulamites, qui avait beaucoup joué aussi pour Jack Hill, il avait joué dans Coffee, il avait joué dans, si je ne m'abuse, avec beaucoup Foxy Brown, hein, il avait été là-dedans. Hein.
C'est vrai.
Mais ouais, sinon, est-ce que tu as des préférés, toi, là-dedans? Tu sais, Twin Peaks, c'est quand même très cool aussi.
Twin Peaks, c'est cool. Twin Peaks, là, c'est pas le thème qu'on connaît du show télé, mais c'est le film Fire Walk With Me.
Voilà.
Exact, oui. Donc, Angelo Badalamenti.
Grand compositeur, fidèle de Lynch.
De Lynch. Il y a Cape Fear aussi, qui est pas mal.
Oui, ça, c'est une solide, ça.
Oui.
Bon, évidemment, c'est le thème de... ça devait être le même thème du film original, mais on le connaît beaucoup pour le film de Scorsese.
Oui, mais c'est le même thème qui avait été effectivement réutilisé dans les deux cas. Je te dirais que c'est pas mal ceux-là que je...
Bernard Herrmann?
Bernard Herrmann, oui, Psycho. Exactement, oui. Oui, c'est un autre grand compositeur de musique... il était capable d'aller chercher aussi des textures, des sonorités là, qui venaient marquer les esprits.
Un peu angoissant. Justement, avec de l'orchestration. Puis après ça, c'est de prendre ces tunes-là, qui sont souvent des tunes qui sont classiques. On s'entend. Il y en a beaucoup là-dedans que, peut-être moins Spider Baby, qui était peut-être plus groovy un peu, là, je pense. C'est la version originale, quasiment rock. Là.
Ouais.
Mais il y en a beaucoup que c'est des orchestrations, puis là, on réinvente ça, on réarrange ça pour rendre ça heavy, lourd, pour un quartet de métal. C'est quand même assez particulier. Un truc plus récent, là, je pense le plus récent qui était sur la soundtrack, c'est le thème de Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. Puis ça, c'est assez weird. Hein? Ce film-là...
Ce film-là, il est glauque, il est quasiment... L'approche est tellement... c'est malsain. Mais c'est un peu comme Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Il y a le côté un peu... c'est quasiment proche du documentaire. Il y a quelque chose de proche de très près de la réalité. Une approche
très crue, très frontale.
Exactement, oui.
On suit ce tueur-là, puis on n'avait jamais vu ça avant, puis on n'a jamais vu ça vraiment après non plus. Un film de tueur en série aussi... comme banal, mais... tellement troublant, puis tellement...
c'est dérangeant quand même.
Comme film. Tu te sens comme sale quand tu écoutes ce film-là. C'est Michael Rooker. Michael Rooker, hein, je ne sais pas si vous en rappelez. Les gens, peut-être qu'ils ont peut-être jamais vu ce film-là. Il a joué dans Mallrats, il a joué dans les Guardians of the Galaxy.
Dans Deadman, je vais dire Deadman, mais c'est Walking Dead.
Ça, c'est Johnny Depp, Deadman. Mais, ça, c'est dans ses premiers rôles, ça. Puis c'était un premier rôle. Puis moi, je me rappelle les premières fois. La première fois que j'ai vu des images de ce film-là, c'était dans le Fangoria. Là, puis j'étais comme vraiment perturbé. J'étais comme, qu'est-ce que c'est? C'est quoi ça? Ça a tellement de l'air... faut que je vois ça, là, tu sais. Fait que Fantômas, cet album-là, si vous avez jamais entendu ça votre vie, garez chez vous là-dessus. Puis, tu sais, juste rapidement, tu sais, je montrais la pochette du premier album. Tu sais, c'est tout le temps là, des IPK qui des belles présentations, c'est un papier métallique, et puis là, tu vois, en tout cas, moi, je capote là-dessus. Puis si je prends un petit 2 minutes là, pour montrer mon coffret, là, rapidement, toutes les pochettes sont absolument malades, mais ils ont sorti un coffret il y a plusieurs années qui regroupe tous les albums du band. Le band qui n'a pas sorti d'album depuis 2006, je crois. Ils ont eu une bonne
on serait dû pour un Director's Cut Part 2, me semble.
Ouais,
ils devraient faire quelque chose comme ça. Parce qu'ils...
Ouais, justement d'accord. Ils ont refait des shows. Ils se réunissent. C'est tous des gars qui sont super occupés, qui ont plein de projets, mais ils n'ont pas produit de nouveau matériel depuis une quinzaine d'années. Ils ont été super prolifiques au début, mais plus rien. On mériterait autre chose que des rééditions vinyle, qui est assez malade pareil. Ça s'appelle Wonder Camera. On le voit ici pour la version vidéo des gens. Là, c'est sombre un peu. Ah, OK. C'est comme un cabinet des curiosités. Fait qu'ils ont repris des albums, puis ils ont décidé de rééditer ça en vinyle en changeant complètement les visuels. Là, on voit un peu le trip qui est...
c'est vraiment beau.
C'est assez hallucinant. Puis qu'est-ce qui est le fun, c'est que tu as, je vais montrer quelques vinyles. Bon, ils ont repris, mettons, le premier album, je l'ai montré tantôt, ils ont pris une espèce de direction artistique très... espèce de vieux livres médicaux ou animaliers, des gravures avec des illustrations complètement cool, mais aussi avec un feel, on dirait, début des années 1900, avec une vieille calligraphie. Là. Moi, je capote. Ils ont fait ça pour tous les albums, mais le clou du truc, c'est pas les vinyles. Même si on aime ça, les vinyles, c'est que il y a un bonus, tu vois, une espèce de petite boîte en carton avec des beaux visuels. Là, tu ouvres ça, puis dans le centre, t'as... Je vais l'approcher un peu, là, c'est foncé. Hein.
Non, on le voit bien, je vois bien.
C'est une cassette audio qui se trouve à être les 30 démos des 30 petites scénettes, petites pièces du premier album, où Patton, on le voit peut-être ici, là, il a composé, joué, performé. De A à Z. Là, il a enregistré ça sur un petit 4 tracks ou 8 tracks. Il a envoyé ça à ses amis, Dave Lombardo, avec qui il n'avait pas encore joué, mais qui connaissait et qui était fan de Slayer depuis tout le temps, comme nous tous. Trevor Dunn, son pote de Mr. Bungle, Buzz Osborne, qui venait de signer avec les Melvins sur son label. Puis là, il dit, les gars, j'ai ce projet-là, puis ça me tente que vous soyez mon house band. Donc là, tu sais, il réédite tous les vinyles de tous les albums, puis en plus, il nous donne ce petit bonus.
C'est vraiment nice, ce coffret-là.
Ah, ouais.
J'étais un peu, pas un peu, je suis beaucoup jaloux.
La prochaine fois qu'on se voit, là, j'amènerai la cassette, on geekera, là, je te ferai écouter ça. Tu vas voir, tout était déjà là. C'est vraiment cool. Mais là, on a parlé beaucoup de Fantômas, surtout d'Arthur Scott, mais je pense que c'est une couple de suggestions Halloweenesques d'albums.
Écoute, oui, moi l'automne, je vais citer... ça n'a pas rapport, c'est la plus belle saison de ma vie ou de la mort, parce que c'est la fin d'un cycle, c'est souvent associé à la mort.
Oui.
Pour vrai, moi, j'adore l'automne. Je sais qu'on manque de soleil, c'est pas comme l'été, mais... Ouais, mais j'aime ça, moi, j'aime ça.
J'aime les couleurs. Toi, tu vas aux pommes à chaque année.
Non, je vais pas aux pommes, mais j'aime les couleurs, j'aime les feuilles qui tombent, j'aime le soleil. Quand c'est ensoleillé à l'automne, il y a la lumière du soleil, je trouve ça vraiment beau.
Ben, je me disais ça tantôt, justement, tu sais, à 4h30, là, le soleil, là.
Ah oui, c'est beau. Tôt le matin, là, j'ai les promenades dans le parc, là, puis il y a juste un petit rayon là, qui passe à travers les arbres là, qui sont en train de finir leur cycle. Là. Je trouve ça vraiment beau. Puis aussi, j'aime beaucoup l'automne.
Il y a l'Halloween à l'automne.
Puis il y a l'Halloween. Fait que voilà. Tout ça pour dire que j'ai des incontournables depuis quelques temps. Je ne tombe pas dans des vieux albums, puis je vous en parle brièvement. Mais c'est des trucs auxquels je reviens depuis quelques années systématiquement. C'est des albums que j'écoute quand c'est l'automne. J'aime ça les écouter. Il faut que je les ressorte.
Là, c'est du métal, j'espère, là, parce que...
oui.
Ouais, okay,
mais il y en a un qui est pas vraiment métal, le premier. C'est un groupe qui s'appelle Grave Pleasures. L'album que je vous suggère, c'est Mother Blood. C'est sorti en 2017. C'est un groupe finlandais. Ils font du death rock. En fait, le chanteur, c'était un gars qui était dans un band de black metal, puis il y avait un autre projet qui s'appelait Beast Milk. Ça a fait pas mal jaser dans le milieu du métal. disons que c'est un espèce de croisement entre je sais pas, Misfits puis Joy Division.
OK.
Le thème de voix du gars sonne très années 80. Moi, c'est mon album d'automne depuis 4 ans. Je l'écoute toujours à l'automne. C'est excellent. C'est des tunes de fin du monde, d'apocalypse, mais aussi d'horreur, puis de cimetière. Puis,
la pochette est très belle.
La pochette est super belle, mais la musique est encore meilleure. Il y a aucun temps mort sur cet album-là. C'est vraiment...
OK. Je vais aller jeter un oreille. Je pense pas en avoir déjà entendu. Beast Milk, j'avais déjà écouté une couple de trucs d'eux, là, mais...
Ça ressemble beaucoup, mais c'est
finlandais. OK.
Ouais, mais Grave Pleasure, c'est quasiment Beast Milk, mais je te dirais que cet album-là, c'est vraiment... je vais dire 100 fois mieux, là, mais c'est vraiment... Il n'y a pas de tune plate là-dessus. C'est vraiment accrocheur. C'est dansant, mais c'est très rock. Il y a un côté très sombre, quand même, le fun.
Comme The Cult un peu ou pas? Pas du tout. The Cult, c'est bon.
Non, j'ai beaucoup plus...
Dark Wave un peu?
Dark, mais non, c'est vraiment death rock. Là. C'est comme un peu punk, un peu The Cramps, mais upbeat.
Je suis très curieux.
C'est très rock.
Mais je vais en mettre sur la playlist, ça c'est sûr.
Ah oui, ça vaut la peine. C'est vraiment bien. Cool. L'autre truc, c'est un groupe de black psychédélique qui s'appelle Ale Spirit Noir, qui est un groupe qui provient de la Grèce.
OK.
C'est des musiciens d'un autre groupe qui s'appelait, je ne sais pas si ça existe encore, Transcending Bizarre.
OK.
Eux, ils sont arrivés avec cet album-là dont je vous parle, c'est Pneuma. C'est sorti en 2012. Okay. C'est vraiment du black psychédélique. Ce qu'ils ont fait, c'est qu'ils ont enregistré des tunes comme dans les années 70, là, juste avec des trucs analogiques.
Ah ouais?
Oui, des vieux amplis, des vieilles bandes.
À lampe, là, puis tout. Okay.
Ça s'entend, c'est hallucinant. Mais c'est très psychédélique, un peu à Goblins, mais c'est comme si Goblins faisait du black metal.
OK. Ça fait penser un petit peu à Oranzi Pazuzu dans ce beat-là?
Moins space, moins weird. Okay, mais plus vraiment côté 70s, vraiment une facture des années 70. Puis, cet album-là, Pneuma, en fait, il y a des tunes. Ce qu'ils ont fait, en fait, c'est qu'ils viennent de sortir un nouvel album qui s'appelle Maniaques. Puis là, ils ont un trip synthwave. Fait que, mais ce qu'ils ont fait, c'est qu'ils ont repris des tunes de ça, puis de leurs autres albums, parce qu'ils en ont fait 3 ou 4. Ils ont récupéré leur musique, puis ils ont refait comme une trame sonore d'un film qui s'appelle Mannequins. Puis l'esthétique, c'est un peu comme Maniaques. Là. On est comme.
Néon, là, peut-être.
Mais là, vraiment, ouais, comme néon.
Mais c'est pas un film, c'est un faux film, comme.
Ouais, c'est la trame sonore Mannequins, mais il n'y a pas de film, là.
Il n'y a pas de film.
Ils viennent de faire paraître ça. Ça aussi, si vous mettez ça dans votre party d'Halloween, là, je veux dire, c'est sûr que ça va lever.
Okay. Mais un petit party, hein, que le go, il dit, des petits.
Ah oui, encore?
Ben, je sais pas, là. Je pense pas en tout cas.
Ah, bon, un petit party, mais ça va lever, c'est sûr. En tout cas, ça va marcher. Ouais. C'est vraiment dans l'ambiance horreur. Moins métal, mais Pneuma, c'est pas pour danser, mais.
Ça se brasse plus, là.
C'est du black, là, mais c'est vraiment cool. Puis, dernière suggestion, c'est un groupe qui s'appelle, en fait, le premier album, le groupe s'appelait Idle Hands. Ils ont dû changer de nom. Ils ont eu des poursuites, ou en tout cas, il y a eu un autre groupe qui s'appelait comme ça. Ils ont dû changer de nom, qui s'appelle maintenant Unto Others.
Okay.
Mais leur premier album s'appelle Mana. C'est un groupe américain qui fait dans le heavy gothique, avec un côté aussi encore très années 80 dans la voix, avec des chansons, tu vois, est-ce que le chanteur, je pense qu'il fait des cris de loup à chaque 2 secondes, là, comme ça, mais c'est très cool, c'est très Halloween-esque là, comme musique. Fait que ça, c'est des albums que, immanquablement, depuis leur sortie, là,
chaque automne.
À chaque automne, j'y reviens, puis c'est comme ça. C'est comme regarder Gremlins à Noël. Là,
oui, ben là, moi, Gremlins, c'est ça Noël-ci que j'ai écouté avec ma fille qui a 7 ans, qui va avoir 8 ans en janvier. Donc là, je pense qu'elle est prête. Là. J'avais comme peur qu'elle soit traumatisée par l'histoire du père mort déguisé en Père Noël dans la cheminée, puis les Gremlins dans le blender. Mais moi, je vais racheter un album, puis ça me fait penser à un album que j'ai pas amené, là, qui est en haut. Un album que j'adore, puis c'est mon album d'automne préféré, c'est c'est October Rust de Typo.
Ah, ben oui, Typo Négative. C'est sûr que c'est un incontournable. C'est un excellent choix. Puis là, je l'avais pas mis dans le lot parce que, c'est ça, je l'avais pas mis dans le lot parce que je me disais.
C'était trop obvious.
Non, pas trop obvious, mais je voulais apporter des choses différentes. Là. Je voulais suggérer mais c'est vrai que Typo Négative, c'est aussi un incontournable. Je l'ai pas mis, mais j'y reviens aussi.
Le grand Peter, paix à son âme.
Oui. C'est vraiment intéressant aussi.
Vraiment, mais on en reparlera. Il me semble que ça fitterait de faire peut-être une chronique autour de l'œuvre de Typo Négative. C'est très horrifique, hein? On s'entend, mais en tout cas, ça sera pour une autre fois. Merci Alex, comme d'habitude.
Ça me fait plaisir. C'est toujours le fun de jaser de métal, d'horreur.
C'est pas tannant. Puis je trouve que c'est vraiment un excellent préambule d'avoir jasé de toutes ces belles choses, mais surtout de Director Scott. Mon chandail, j'ai sorti des boulamites parce qu'il est tout déchiré en arrière, parce que je l'ai trop porté, hein, il y a quand même 20 ans, pour justement faire le segue vers l'entrevue avec Buzz Osborne. Hey, Buzz Osborne, so nice to see you and to hear you now.
Yeah, where are you?
I'm in Montreal.
Never heard of it.
In fact, I'm not even in Montreal. I'm in Boucherville, which is kind of a butcher town. It's on the South Shore, a little suburb down on the South Shore of Montreal. And I'm in my video store basement, my collection.
I like it.
Yeah, thank you. It's a little part, but thank you so much for being a guest on my podcast, Metal Maniacs.
Yep.
It's really cool to be able to chat about two of my favorite things with you, which are metal and horror. So first of all, going to do a little biography real quick, and then we're going to jump right into the meat. Okay. So Buzz Osborne, you are an art enthusiast. You are a toy collector. You are a horror fan, and foremost, a heavy metal musician, a guitarist, and a singer. And you've been for a while now, for almost 40 years. Also, you put out a few records as a solo artist, King Buzzo. You've been a member of Venomous Concept, Fantômas, and of course, the mighty Melvins. I'm sure you answered that question a million times before, but what was the first heavy artist that made something for you?
Hendrix.
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
Still does.
Oh, yeah.
Still work.
So, did you have a chance to see him live?
Yeah, I would have been about 4.
But I guess your parents were, music lover?
No, my parents didn't like music. I think they might have had a couple Creedence Clearwater records, which I still like.
Uh-huh.
That stuff's good, but they were not music fans at all.
How did you stumble upon Hendrix then?
I started getting interested in music when I was about 12.
Okay.
I found him somehow,
Through friends?
No, I didn't really have any friends that listened to music. I didn't really have any friends, so not a lot till I was later in high school. All my music, exploration and things that I found were all on my own. Nobody ever recommended anything to me.
Perusing in record stores and stuff like that?
No, there were no record stores where I lived. Okay. I got all my records by getting mail order magazines like Cream and I can't remember what other ones.
Columbia House wasn't a thing then, right?
It was, but they didn't really have records that I wanted. Not much. I think I might have done that once, and got a few things like a great David Bowie's Greatest Hits record.
Okay,
maybe, but mostly it was stuff I didn't care for, like Styx or Journey or something. I don't even know if Journey was on it, but Styx, stuff like I just don't care about that. And before that, I was already gotten into Hendrix and Bowie and all that. So,
and I guess growing up in the 70s, you must have been a fan of the shock rock scenes, you know, bands like Arthur Brown and Alice Cooper.
Alice Cooper.
Yeah.
Alice Cooper is one of my favorite bands. You know, always has been.
What was the first record that you listened to?
School's Out.
Oh yeah.
And then Killers, you know, all that stuff.
And that vinyl, School's Out, is such amazing thing, you know, that you can put, you know, the little you know, legs and fold it, you know, as a little cubicle, you know, Schools.
Yeah, you turn into a desk, and then the record had a pair of panties on it.
Oh yeah. But
very impressive. And the thing is you can do that kind of stuff. You can have an image, you can do all kinds of things like that. But if your songs aren't any good, it doesn't really matter. And,
that's right.
And he had those guys had unbelievable records. They had about 5 albums that I think are some of my favorite records ever.
Yeah.
I mean, same with a band like Kiss. If Kiss wouldn't have had songs I liked, like Hotter Than Hell, stuff like that, I wouldn't have cared at all.
Of course. This, you know, the imagery and the big show and all, and the fireworks and the makeup, it's all good. But, you know, of course, as you said, you need songs.
Songs aren't there. I just don't care. I wouldn't have cared then. But the stuff I liked then, I still like. You know, there was no bands that I listened to that I think, oh, I'm so embarrassed by that. Like, never. I had good taste when I was 12 years old. I liked 12, 13, 14. I liked the right bands, you know, whether it was Pink Floyd or Led Zeppelin or whoever they were. I still love that stuff. I never stopped loving that stuff. And then found thousands of other bands as time went on. Mm-hmm. Bowie brought me into punk rock. You know, oh, what's this? What's that? The Sex Pistols covered No Fun by the Stooges, which opened my eyes to that, and MC5 and all those things that just... those musical explorations were happening for me as a teenager. Finding all those records what I would do is mail order them, mm-hmm. and then receive them, you know, a couple of months later. That was always, and I bought a lot of those records just by the way the band looks in magazines like The Clash or the Sex Pistols or any of those things. And they were all good. I never bought any clunkers, whether it was, you know, the Buzzcocks or whoever it was. Mm-hmm. Damned. I was finding all that stuff. And I also loved the New York Dolls and Blondie. I still love all that stuff.
But I think I was talking about with another music lover recently, and I came to the realization that we're kind of stuck with the music we grew up with when we were teens. It's kind of our classics in a way, and we have to keep listening to them over and over if it's good stuff, of course.
If it's good. I mean, but I'm a big fan of stuff that I discover too. Those bands were easy to like. My favorite band is The Who. That was my favorite. Yeah. The most explosive live band. I think probably the best live band from the 60s. Easily. There was nothing like it. Very artistic. Their artwork was always great. Their shows were full on, you know, performance art, like nothing had ever happened before. Mm-hmm. I still think they're one of the most extraordinary bands ever. I think they're highly underrated when it comes to their concepts and how well they pulled that stuff off in their musicianship. And nobody's close, I don't think. But I still love, I love the Stones and the Beatles and all those bands. Mm-hmm. But a lot of other crazy stuff too. Like we always laugh. Our tastes go from this, rock music tastes go from, like the Rolling Stones to Throbbing Gristle and mm-hmm. just on and on.
Crazy stuff and
whoever it may be,
and Captain Beefheart and stuff like Zappa and
later, yeah. I actually saw Zappa play.
Oh yeah, wow!
I was in 11th grade in Seattle.
Okay,
at a place that held about 6,000 people.
Okay,
I was in about 11th grade, I think. It was really good. No opening band, 2 hours of straight music, and he never stopped playing. Like the band was playing music the entire 2 hours. There was something, even if he was talking, there's something going on.
Oh, wow.
Very, very well thought out and planned. And that left a massive impression on me that your performance is important. So the minute you walk on stage to the minute you walk off stage, it's all important. It's not just a jukebox.
Oh, that's right.
To provide people with something they're not getting in their normal life. You know, and I'm not a fucking playlist. You know?
and that's what I like about the Melvins is that you never done the same album twice and the same tour twice, and you try to jazz, you know, what you do to perfect it, but you try to throw curveballs to people all the time. And you know, the Melvins, of course, you have a new album coming out on October 15 on Ipecac Recordings. What I like about Ipecac is that they care about the artists and they care about the product they give to the music lovers, you know. We were talking about, you know, the vinyls that Alice Cooper put out with special, you know, something that you never saw before. And when I bought this big box set from Fantômas, you know, the one Wonder Camera, it's so amazing what they've done with the little cassette with the demo tape in it. So we're going to go back to Fantômas a little later, but because I'm all about hyperlinks, you know, in my head, my brain is wired that way. So let's go back to the Melvins. The new record is kind of a best of, in a way. 36 songs, a bunch of covers, but, you know, most of it is, you know, classic Melvins from all eras. But it's not a best of. It's a reinterpretation of, you know, your songs, acoustic, and I'm loving it. It's great. So what was the thought process about, you know, putting that together?
Well, when I originally did acoustic about 6-7 years ago, I did this machine destroys artists. Kills them. I was really influenced by a thing I had seen in the 80s where Pete Townsend did a show called The Secret Policeman's Ball. And he played, it was a record that I got simply because he was on it. That was him playing three Who songs on acoustic guitar and singing. And it was fucking great. It was he did, you know, Won't Get Fooled Again with the acoustic, Pinball Wizard, and Drowned. And I was like, these songs work like this, not only because he's good, but because these songs are good.
Stripped down. It works.
Still works because the song is so powerful and he's so good at it. Plus he's a good guitar player and he's a great singer, but it's like the song is good no matter how you do it. It's good. He did his job in the songwriting and it will come across. And, I was just blown away by that. And I was like, okay, you don't have to sound like a country band or you don't have to play like James Taylor. If you pick up an acoustic guitar, you can play, you know.
It can be heavy still.
Heavy. You know, you listen to that. It's like he's putting it out there. Won't Get Fooled Again to me is one of the greatest rock songs ever. And it's certainly the best political rock song ever. It doesn't say it better. No one's ever said it better than that. And it comes across powerfully when I'm saying that I get chills thinking about it. I just think that's one of the greatest rock songs of all time ever. Nothing. It speaks to me in a way that maybe only the best Bob Dylan does, you know.
Okay.
It's fucking amazing. Or like, you know, The Birthday Party, you know.
And you wanted to try to channel that kind of the same energy with this.
I knew it was possible. So when I do my acoustic thing, I'm going to keep that in mind. And it's like, you know, these songs, I write these Melvin songs that I can make this work. It can still work. And it worked. It was great. And then I did another acoustic record like that, and that was delayed as a result of the pandemic. I had tours planned. I had Europe, US, all canceled.
Yeah.
Record is supposed to come out in May of last year. It got pushed back to August. Then it came out, Gift of Sacrifice and I didn't get to tour it or anything. So I had
no shows.
No, because of the pandemic. It's just nothing. Tried to move the tours back, and then just had to cancel everything because it's just not going to happen. So I had the acoustic thing in mind. So also we were like, well, we don't know what's going to happen. We had a whole bunch of Melvins stuff planned too, like that Melvins album, the Melvins 1983 album, Working with God, that came out. It was supposed to come out the year before.
That's right.
The acoustic thing that was pushed back another 4 or 5 months. That was when I got done with my acoustic thing. Then we were going to have a new Melvins album come out, and then we would be touring in 2021 for that. All of that was just shit canned, because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So I was like, we don't know what's going to happen when we go back on the road. We have no idea. Will we be able to take a full crew? Will we have to do a tour? Because, so we go, well, if we have to do that, let's have an acoustic thing that we can tour if need be.
Because it's lighter, the tour being acoustic, you don't need as much people with you.
Maybe we didn't know.
Okay.
We had no idea. And so we're like, let's do something like that. So then if we have to go out and do acoustic thing, or if it makes sense to do it, or if it's the only way we can financially afford to do it, we'll have something legitimate that we can actually go, well, here's what we're touring with. And then we got into it, and I was like, well, one album just seems
not enough.
Double album, double albums are cool. They're good, but I want to do something bigger.
Let's do 4.
Let's do 4 once we got into it. And then we did 36 songs like that, reinterpreting every single song on the record, making it in a way it's acoustic guitar, acoustic bass. Dale's playing with brushes.
Yeah, that's great.
No drumsticks on the whole record, just the brushes.
But it's still heavy. It still smashes on his drums. It's not that light.
No, he plays full blast. I mean, it's just like any of those horrible MTV Unplugged. Those drummers all played like that,
It's not all horrible, but it's millions miles away from Nirvana's.
most of the MTV stuff I couldn't care less about the Unplugged, but I would probably guess that most of it's plugged. It's not.
Yeah, exactly. It's not really unplugged. But for the record, did you like Nirvana's?
I never heard it. I just heard the hits. I didn't listen to it. No, I heard the David Bowie hit. I thought that was pretty good.
Yep.
But like for this record, I did all the acoustic guitar is mic'd. It doesn't go through an amplifier.
Okay.
That stuff. And we really, really, really concentrated a lot on the vocals. We worked really hard on the vocals.
Yeah, with Steven also doing harmonic with you.
Yep. We wanted to show people that, actually, our vocals are actually a lot better than people. Nobody ever says anything about it, the vocals. And I go, I want people to hear how good we can actually do this. So we worked really extremely hard on it. And I was like, with acoustic stuff, it's great, but you really got to go over the top with the vocals. They have to be good, or it just doesn't sound good.
Yeah, you don't have anything to hide them.
No, nothing. And so we worked way harder on the vocals on that record than we had on any other record.
But it shows, with those harmonies and all. You did it great. It's amazing. It sounds like a ton of brick. But I guess
they'll be surprised. They'll be surprised, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Because it's you hear the melodies. There's no distortions, and all the Melvins songs are about riffs, good riffs, and great melodies, vocal melodies, and it's all there.
Yeah.
So I guess going to the process of choosing which song's gonna make the cut, make you look back on the whole career that you're having with the Melvins. So I was wondering, what made you the most proud about that band?
About the album?
About the whole band, the whole history of the band. Yeah.
That the core of me and Dale since 1984 hasn't changed, and that we're in this to the end, me and him, and I'm glad it's worked. I always thought that if I just made music that I thought was good, was not being perverse, that I really honestly liked it, and that we behaved the way that we would like to see other bands behave as an example, that it would be good. We're not perverse. I'm not going to go, I'm just going to make some stupid album. People think that. It's like, no, you don't have any understanding of what we're doing. One of my favorite albums we've ever done was A Walk with Love and Death, which is a soundtrack record for a movie that didn't exist at the time, and then a Melvins record. That one, I think people, the soundtrack record it's just noise and blah, blah. It's like, okay, that just shows how little you really understand about us. You don't really get it. And I can't make you get it. And if you think it's crap, well, that to me is one of our best records. I think that record has everything on it. It goes in places that no other record that we've ever done has went in. And people, I can't make them like it. I think they should. But that's what we're about, that kind of thing, as well as everything else. So, but that it's a big movie thing. It's a big movie record,
Yeah, it's a great record, and I love also how you play with the record covers. The artwork. The art is really a big part of Melvins. Could be costumes, that your wife Mackie is creating for you for the concerts. But she's been doing art for your records for a while now. With nice Aurora, mask, Halloween mask, and horror always been there in ways. Also, creepy two-headed dogs and the devil and stuff like that. I guess I don't know, but were you a monster kid growing up?
Always.
Oh yeah.
Always. It's always my favorite genre.
You were collecting, those Aurora model kits and stuff like that?
No, I didn't have a lot of money when I was a kid. My family was relatively poor. We got toys and things like that for Christmas. But a big deal for us would be getting a bicycle, but that hardly ever happened, that kind of thing. My family didn't have a lot of money. My dad worked really hard for not much. And that was okay. At the time, I didn't really think about it. When you're going through that kind of stuff, it's just normal.
Yeah, it was kind of the same for me. Middle class. My dad was a nurse, and I had the Eman toy for Christmas or that kind of stuff. And now having a good job and all, I'm collecting way more than I ever dreamed of.
Far beyond.
So, when did the horror came into your life? Was it monsters and movies and cartoons? And
it was movies for sure.
Okay.
When I was a little kid, as far back as I can remember, TV was a lot different. Kids now wouldn't have any idea what TV was like when I was a kid. There was very few channels, and they went off the air when it got late. They just shut off.
Yeah.
Test pattern,
wasn't 24/7.
And you were not streaming movies, or there was none of that was going on. I like it a lot more now, but at the time there was a thing in this. I lived in the coast of Washington State, not in Seattle. I never lived in Seattle. We lived in a very, very tiny town in the middle of nowhere, but we would get these channels, the local channel from Seattle. I can't remember which channel it was. I think it was. And but
did you get the Canadian channels as well, or
no? We barely got anything there.
Okay,
with rabbit ears,
Yeah.
But we got this. They had this thing on Friday nights at 11 o'clock called Nightmare Theater
with a host.
Yeah, a vampire host.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
You can find him. He's online. You can see it. You can see little clips of it.
Okay.
But they would show all the classic horror movies like Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein.
Universal Monsters, the classics.
All of them.
I guess some Hammer stuff as well.
Excuse me?
So some Hammer stuff as well?
No, that was new stuff then. They wouldn't have been showing that. This is all, That's right. This is in like the late 60s, early 70s.
Okay. Yeah.
The Hammer stuff was still coming out in theaters. And it was old. It was older, like The Mummy.
I know that The Bride of Frankenstein is one of your favorites, right?
Bride of Frankenstein, I think, is really good. As far as it's the best Frankenstein movie. When I was a little kid, my favorite was always the werewolf.
Oh yeah,
that was my favorite. I always wanted to be a werewolf. That werewolves were the coolest thing ever. Lon Chaney Jr. did a great job to make it insane. I can't think of the guy's name that did the makeup. He did the
Jack Pierce.
Yes, he did. I think that's it. He did the Frankenstein monster.
I think he did Mummy as well. Yeah,
he was amazing, and I love Bela Lugosi. I loved
Lon Chaney.
All of it. Lon Chaney Jr. mostly. I didn't really see Lon Chaney. I saw some Lon Chaney, but that was all silent movie.
Yeah, that's right.
Really. Mm-hmm. And then they would show sci-fi movies, some of them from the 50s.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
You mentioned in the previous interview Planet of the Vampires, which
Planet
was
of the Vampires 60s. That's 60s. That would have been too early. That would have been too new.
Okay.
They wouldn't have shown, these are ones in the 60s. They would have been showing ones from the 30s, 40s, maybe from the 50s that they didn't have to pay very much money for.
Oh, that's right. Mm-hmm.
And if it came out in the 60s, there's no way they would have been showing it on late night monster TV. It would have been all,
Too expensive.
Really weird ones like White Zombie and The Bat and stuff like that. So,
do you remember one that really scared you as a kid?
No. I think the scariest movie I saw as a kid was probably The Exorcist, but that was in the theater.
It's still scary today.
Oh, they'd never be able to make that movie now. They would never get away with that.
No, definitely.
Things are in the 1970s, I think, was the golden era for movie making, especially in America, where they got away with stuff that you would never be able to get away with now, ever. They were much more open-minded. They were much more interested in the story and less interested in PC stuff, whatever it may be. And I think it was just a better time to be an artist at that point, a movie maker.
Yeah.
You had more freedom than you do now.
Definitely. You think about movies like Taxi Driver, The Omen.
Omen, Network. All of them were there. There's something that was happening in the 70s. French Connection. Talked like real people.
Yeah.
They acted like real people.
And the violence, it was real and crude and not like the Rambo violence of the 80s.
No, it was a much more. Sam Peckinpah really spearheaded all of that. He was the first guy, like with the Wild Bunch, was the first time I ever saw blood spurting out of somebody's chest. Sam Peckinpah was one of the greatest. He's one of the best film directors ever, I think. I think the Wild Bunch is probably arguably the best Western ever made, and arguably really good. I mean, I never tire of that kind of stuff. Characters. Once again, it's a movie you couldn't get away with that movie now. They wouldn't allow it. There's just no way.
And I was wondering, you're talking about mostly American movies and stuff like that. When did you get aware of European movies like Italian films and stuff like that?
Well, a lot of times when I was a kid, I didn't look at it from the perspective of where is this movie from? It didn't occur to me.
Didn't know. It was dubbed and that's it.
I don't know that would have mattered to me. It's like, it's just from Italy. I didn't even know where Italy was. Wouldn't have made any difference to me. You know what I mean? I knew I loved the Hammer movies. It didn't occur to me that they were made in England. I think it said it in the credits, but England just sounded like some far off place that I knew I could find it on a map, but other than that, I didn't look at it like I'm watching an English movie. I just thought it was good, and then I saw those movies in the 70s, in this little town the first town I lived in where I was born is up in Washington. It's a tiny little town. And there they had a little movie theater that they would show movies. Like I saw all of the ones like Planet of the Apes, Beneath the Planet of the Apes, all the Hammer movies, all that stuff was there. Mm-hmm. They showed it all there, and double features, nice. As well as weird kids movies and Disney movies and all. But they would have a double feature of two, Hammer horror movies in the early 70s. And my parents never cared what we went to.
Okay.
They didn't care. My dad would take us to go see Dirty Harry.
At what age?
Grade school. I would have been. Dirty Harry came out in the early 70s. Mm-hmm. I would have been in like second grade.
Okay.
But they just didn't try to hide that kind of stuff from us. They didn't. And my dad would say, oh, there might be some nudity in this, or there's bad language. But I'd heard all that language a million times before. I ever heard it in a movie theater. You know? So they just never tried to shelter us from that kind of stuff, ever. It never occurred to me that it was weird, even.
And you were a kid that was easily scared anyway, so...
I wasn't easily scared. I was I saw a movie when I was a kid that I loved called The New Centurions.
Okay.
It's a cop movie from L.A.
Okay.
L.A. cops in the 70s. It was fucking great. And it's a B-grade movie, but it's got George C. Scott and
nice.
Stacy Keach, you know? Stacy Keach is a rookie, and George C. Scott is teaching him the ropes.
Okay.
And in LA as an LA cop. It's a low budget movie, but oh my God, it's so good. It's so good. And I saw movies like that when I was a kid, and that really cemented that kind of, it's like not film noir, but it's like this early 70s or mid 70s version of film noir.
Okay.
You know? And I love cop movies. I love them. I love all that, especially the 70s cop movies are the best.
Oh yeah.
So good. I just love them. Even movies like The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, the original. That's a fucking great movie.
Okay.
I love all that kind of stuff. French Connection, all of them. All of them are good. It's gonna be hard pressed to better that genre was then. And like as much as I like movies like Underworld, that one.
The recent ones?
Yeah, I really liked it, especially the first one. You didn't like it?
With Kate Beckinsale, I guess.
I don't know what her name is.
Yeah.
I love them.
It came out at the same time as Van Helsing and those movies that were really inspired by, I guess, The Matrix and stuff. And I didn't care about that kind of action. The Matrix 4 trailer just dropped, and I'm not really excited about it.
I love The Matrix.
I thought the first one was great.
I thought there was good stuff in all of them.
Oh yeah,
first one is the best one. But to me, these are fantasy movies. Take your brain out, set it in the seat next to you, and you just enjoy it.
And now that Keanu Reeves is really into action nowadays with John Wick and all, so might be a great action sci-fi film, and looks like there's a lot of great SFX in it too. But
it's not going to be, no matter what, none of these movies like that are going to be in my top 20 movies. But I'm a liar to say that I didn't think Underworld was really great. I loved it.
It's entertainment, yes.
Really cool looking. I love that. I'm a sucker for the goth look. I love it. I love goth chicks with guns. Are you kidding me? And she's a vampire. I'm in. So they're fighting werewolves. You're happy. It's my dream come true.
So those Resident Evil movies with Mila Jovovich, you like that? I
don't like her.
No. Okay.
No, I liked her in
The Fifth Element.
Fifth Element. I thought the Fifth Element was great.
That's her best film.
Really, really liked it. But mostly, she's okay. That movie wasn't good because of her. I actually like Bruce Willis in that movie. Weirdly enough,
Oh yeah. He was. That was a different role for him. That
movie was funny.
Yeah,
it was funny all the way through it. I thought that was really clever and really fun.
Yeah, that's from a French guy, Luc Besson.
Really good. Really well thought out. It looked beautiful. Tricky was in it. I thought that was good.
Oh, that's right. Tricky was in it.
Tricky was good. He was good in that. But I have, I'm pretty easygoing when it comes to that kind of stuff. It doesn't have to be too much for me to really like it. I love all the Star Wars movies. There's none I hate, on and on and on. You could name it. There's a few genres movies I don't like, but by and large, horror movies and sci-fi movies, I have a lot of leeway. Now when it comes to other movies, where I really look at them as classic, what I'm really looking for in a really good movie, I'm a much, much harsher critic of it.
Yeah, definitely. Is there any horror franchise that you cannot not watch the sequel or the remake or the prequel?
No, I can't think of any.
For me, I think it's probably my two favorites is Alien and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Even though
I like all those.
Yeah.
The second one was my favorite.
Oh yeah, it's so funny.
Hilarious. The whole thing. Music is my life.
Yeah. Chopped up. He's a riot.
That's you. You're the one on the radio. You know. Now you're right here. I love that movie. I thought that guy was a genius. Why wasn't he nominated for Best Actor? He's great. Yeah. He's totally good. I really, really love that movie. I love the first one too.
The first one, did you watch it when it came out back in the 70s?
Probably saw it in the late 70s, you know? Probably.
What was your first impression of that film?
I thought it was really creepy. And I really liked it. I dug it.
That really
I was really into, what was that?
I was about to telling you about the grainy look because it's 16 millimeters, so it's kind of a documentary feel in a way. So that's what I like about the movie.
Similar to Night of the Living Dead, the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I liked all those movies. I thought those were good. First one was really good. I loved it.
Second one,
I like all of them. I think they're all good. I can find something about all of them.
I was wondering, have you ever thought about doing some film scores? You know, Patton have been doing scores for a while. Is that something that you had any interest in?
No, not really. I generally don't like most of the scores in and of themselves. I like some of them, but nothing comes to mind. Right, Morricone maybe.
Okay.
The Thing soundtrack.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like Carpenter. I think that's one of the best. It's one of my favorites as far as it's. And my other favorite would be Forbidden Planet.
Okay.
You know, Forbidden Planet, I think, is one of the coolest soundtracks ever for a movie. You know, I don't know, all the classics. You know, Jaws theme, was it John Williams?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Love it. That's one of the best ever. I mean, without that movie's not as good. You know.
Definitely. You know, there's some movies like The Exorcist, you know, Mike Oldfield's Tubular Bells. It makes, you know, the movie is great, but that songs, it make it a little bit more uneasy. But of course, Psycho, Bernard Herrmann.
Amazing. Well, the thing with movies is in a lot of ways, it's the ultimate art form. Mm-hmm. Because you have visuals, you have a storyline, and you have music.
That's right.
No, and I think you don't get that. Prior to that, what was the equivalent? The only equivalent would have been live performance on stage.
Exactly.
That's it. And this makes it to where you can take that genre, which is amazing, you know, live actors and turn it into something different.
And something tighter in a way, because there's editing and you can, you know, put some music to put emphasis on different things and create some SFX magics in it as well. So yes, I agree with you 100%. That's why I was really my English is breaking. I was really happy when you guys with Fantômas put out Director's Cut, because those songs, man. There's a really wide array of genres, thriller, noir, and a bunch of horror themes as well. So and back in 2001, when you came to Montreal to play that show at the Metropolis, and it's really a fun memory for me because I had bought months prior, a ticket to see Tool in concert that very same day. And then a few weeks later, I found out that Fantômas was playing the same day in Montreal, but in a different venue. Because the next day, you were to embark on that tour with Tool. So, and I was really, really grateful that you guys came to an arrangement. So Fantômas could start half an hour after Tool finishes their set in the big room at the Bell Center. So I could up in a cab to watch both shows. That was a fun night. So I just want to throw, you know, movie titles to you and just tell me the first scene that comes to mind.
I'll try.
Spider Baby.
I'm sorry?
Spider Baby.
Oh God. Just Lon Chaney Jr.
That's right.
Yeah. That was right at the end of his life.
Yeah, that's right.
He died not long after that. That's a weird movie. I like that movie. I like it. You know, I didn't have anything to do with what movies were getting picked.
It's more patterns, right?
All Patton. Because later I was suggesting stuff. He goes, "Oh, I wish I would have known about that one." You know, I was like, "Oh well."
But when he came with that list, I guess we were familiar with most of those films.
Most of them, yeah, not all of them.
Like, of course, Rosemary's Baby.
Oh, I love Rosemary's Baby. That to me is that's one of the. It's a horror movie, but it's beyond that. It might even be even scarier than a regular horror movie because, despite his history of sexual deviancy, he was a fantastic director.
He was a genius.
And
I know it's kind of hard sometimes to dissociate the art from the artist in those. There's many. Yeah, we need to, because sometimes there's people like, I don't know, Michael Jackson or perhaps Phil Anselmo doing really harsh stuff at concerts, but guys like Roman Polanski. We all know what he did, but those movies still exist, and we can appreciate those movies anyways.
Yeah, I don't approve of what they do, but I would be lying to say that in Polanski's case that he didn't make good movies. He certainly did. And Rosemary's Baby to me it's a better movie than The Exorcist, but it's along the same. I think it's better as a film.
It's more subtle.
Well, it's scarier almost.
It's because insidious.
Yes, it is, and you have these real people in there, and God is dead. Well, it's long lives. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah,
it was before The Exorcist.
Yeah, 68.
It's unbelievable. It's filmed amazing. The soundtrack, that opening song that we did is when you see, it's like a helicopter shot coming down over the Dakota, I think it is, where John Lennon lived. That was where they lived in the movie. John Lennon lived there later, and that when it's coming down into that, you're seeing it. He's to think of that. It's almost like Satan is descending onto this house at the beginning.
Yeah.
Down into it. Down into it. When we're going to go deeper into that house, and she's taken into the basement of that house and raped by Satan. We're not going up. We're not going up into the light.
Yeah.
We're going down into the deepest depths of the scariest thing you could possibly think of happening for a Christian.
And at the end of the 60s, it took some balls to have this movie. And it was, I think, William Castle that produced that movie.
Yes, William Castle, another genius.
In his own way.
Absolutely. He did great. That stuff with the Tingler, all that stuff was really good.
What I like is his way of marketing the films with those gimmicks. It's so great.
And have you been to Disneyland? They took his concept way further.
Oh, yeah.
Go to Disneyland, there's interactive 3D movies. You sit in there where the whole theater does stuff. It's crazy. It's like I was sitting there going, this is William Castle's dream. Water sprays in your face and all kinds of, the seat moves and all kinds of things. It's so cool. So I'll start by him.
And I guess you've been into that 3D craze, like those 3D movies back with the red and blue.
Yeah, I don't mind. It doesn't bother me. I like 3D is okay.
Yeah, me too. It's fun.
I mean, I like anything weird. I love movies, so I watch parts of movies every single day. I can go back and watch a part of a movie, just my favorite scenes. I have a ton of DVDs and Blu-rays, tons of them, because I don't trust. I want to have them.
Yeah, me too.
I don't streaming services. It's like no. You don't have everything I want.
That's right, and they can take it away whenever they want.
How do you know I don't want to watch Holy Mountain right now?
That's right. That's right.
I want to decide what I want to watch. And the streaming services, some of them are good. Like I just watched last night. I watched The Fog, which I really like.
Oh yeah, the original, of course. Carpenter's.
Great.
Yeah.
And
me too, because I needed to revisit The Omen for another podcast. We did a review of the movie, and I only had accessible to me my old video disc. You know what a video disc is, Buzz?
I used to have one of those.
Oh yeah, those big cartridge made of plastic. But
they're really good.
The image is not that great, so I watched it through Disney Plus. How funny is that? The Omen is on Disney Plus.
Yeah, The Omen's great. Gregory Peck, Mrs. Blaylock.
Oh yeah,
Mrs. Blaylock.
What's your favorite scene?
My favorite scene in Omen? Let me think. Gosh, that's a hard one. I would say
the one that's springing into mind.
Where the battle with Mrs. Blaylock.
Oh yeah, almost at the end.
Stabbed with a fucking fork to the side of her head. That was good. She was great. That actress, I don't know who that was.
Those eyes and that grin.
Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. I am here to guard the son of Satan. You know, I'm here to guard him. You know, it's like it's amazing. And the Rottweiler. Oh
yeah, it's scary in the cemetery.
Damien likes it. Damien likes this dog. Yeah, sure he does. That was good. I like the shaving scene where he shaves the head.
Oh yeah.
So he finds
find the sixes.
Terrifying. How terrified he is. Gregory Peck's always good.
And the music.
Music was really good. The other one he was in that was amazing was Moby Dick.
Oh yeah.
Movie. That's a scary movie too. That's a really scary movie.
Never saw that.
Oh my God, you got to see it. See, that's a John Huston movie. John Huston's my favorite director. You know? Okay. He wasn't a horror movie director, but Moby Dick.
It's more about westerns, right?
No, John Huston. That's John Ford.
Oh, okay. John
Huston made The Misfits. He made Wise Blood. He made Treasure Sierra Madre. He made Men Who Would Be King. Key Largo. He's the best. I think he's the greatest. And he did a movie called A Walk with Love and Death, which we stole as our
an homage.
Yes, of course. And Gregory Peck as Ahab.
Okay.
He's fucking great. That movie's really good. It's in the 50s. It's really, really cool. Okay. I would highly recommend it.
Okay, cool.
It's a fantasy movie with a big crazy whale that he's out there hunting it, and the white whale. It's so cool. But see, I like all that kind of genre too, like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Mm-hmm. I love that movie. I love it. I think it's absolutely amazing. Any of those kinds of movies. But Omen was really good.
I want to go back on other titles on the director's cut. Have you seen? Probably, hopefully, I did. Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it's good. I like it.
It's pretty intense.
I like it. Yeah, I thought it was good. I like that actor. He's been in a lot of movies.
In the Guardians of the Galaxy now, it's Michael Rooker. The Walking Dead.
Yes, and he was in Mississippi Burning.
Oh yeah, that's right.
One of the murderers in that movie. He's really good. He's even creepier than he was in Henry. Real like a Klansman type of guy.
Yeah, it's been a while since I saw that movie. Who else was in that?
It was the guy from Wise Blood. I can't think of his name. He was also in Dune. He plays a cop.
Kyle MacLachlan?
No, he was in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. He plays a stuttering teenager. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. The stuttering guy. He's great. I can't think of his name.
It's been too long.
But he's great. He's great in Dune too. And have you seen Wise Blood? Wise Blood. He's the main character in Wise Blood. Oh my God! Do yourself a favor.
I will. What about
great movie?
What about David Lynch? You were talking about Dune.
Love David Lynch.
You love that Dune? You did?
Loved it.
Yeah.
I thought Dune is great. Yeah.
Are you excited about the new one?
Sure. Absolutely. But people hated that movie. I'm like, I don't see any reason to hate this movie. It's totally weird. Really weird characters. It's Lynch to the bone
with a budget.
Oh my God, it was totally great. That whole scene at the beginning, we're folding space. We folded space, and it's. I just think it's great. It looks really cool.
What's your favorite Lynch movie?
Blue Velvet.
Oh yeah,
that's a horror movie.
Oh yeah, it is. Dennis Hopper is crazy.
That's Frank Booth. I describe myself as a more violent version of Frank Booth.
Oh yeah, you have the mask as well.
No one ever knows who Frank Booth is, so that I'm a more violent version of Frank Booth. Yeah, I love Blue Velvet. I think Blue Velvet's really good. I like Wild at Heart, great deal. Those are really good.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He didn't make any stinkers.
Nope, that's right.
Elephant Man that's a horror movie too. Elephant Man's fantastic. Eraserhead. He's one of these guys, not unlike John Waters, where you just go, I'm good. Do whatever you want.
Exactly. And you give him the keys. Yeah.
You've given me so much that I'm not going to argue about whether I like one, like, I don't like your new movie, or he's terrible now, or, you're just a fucking idiot if you think that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like, I totally agree, because
offered you so much fucking amazing shit
and different stuff from everybody else. Nobody can do Lynch like Lynch, and nobody can even try to do a Lynch movie. You
can try.
It doesn't work
in here. That's where he's got it. It's in here. That's the thing. And that new Twin Peaks, the whole new Twin Peaks series. Did you watch it?
No, not yet.
Oh my God.
I keep holding back. I'm not sure.
I have to watch that.
I know.
It's so good.
Yeah.
There's some crazy stuff in there you're not going to believe. That was a huge influence, because me and this guy, Jesse Nyman from Atlanta, we made the movie for the soundtrack. After we made a movie, like a 33-minute movie for the soundtrack of that we did for Walk with Love and Death, called Walk with Love and Death. One of our big influences on that was the Twin Peaks series.
Okay.
And me and him filmed it all ourselves. And because I'm a really love photography.
Oh yeah.
And love it.
You did the pictures, for the guys in Mr. Bungle recently, right?
Yep, I did that. I did a Revolver cover for Batten. And then you can see a lot of my photography. I started putting it up a year and a half ago or so on Instagram. First social media account I've ever had, and it's
I didn't even know.
Real King Buzzo.
Okay, cool. Real
King Buzzo, and it's asterisk, it's me, and all it is my photography. No pictures of me, no selfies. It's just pictures I take. That's it.
That's nice. I used to take pictures a lot of concert pictures, but it's been a while since I've been to a concert. So, have you started to do shows again with the Melvins?
No, we haven't done any shows. I would not be a good concert photographer. I'd be terrible at it. I'm a street photographer, more that kind of thing.
No, I meant. I don't
have the patience to do it at a concert. I would just want to leave.
Yeah. But it's fun, for 15 minutes, 3 songs, try to get the most of it. And it's kind of...
I've seen those kinds of pictures a million times before.
Yeah.
All the time. I would have more fun taking pictures of them arriving.
Oh, yeah. Backstage.
Or going out to eat with them. Or clowning around. Not even backstage, just, walking around the streets. I'd have a lot more fun. Let me take a picture of you here. Let me do this. That's the kind of photography I like,
Do you want to direct a movie aside from a Melvins movie, a narrative movie someday? Is that in your plans?
No, I don't think that would ever happen. I think I could have done it easily. I think making records is a lot like making movies. I've read a lot of director books and how they make movies and like the way that they think about it and try to utilize those concepts in making a record. Because the record for me is like a top to bottom is it's an entity in and of itself. There's a beginning and an end for a reason. And then there's the middle. There's a middle part that all has to make sense to me. And it only works after I've listened to it thousands and thousands of times until I've come upon how this has got to lay out. Far more than people would imagine. Nothing's left to chance with me. It's overthought. massive amounts. And
the devil is in the details. It's I really respect the time you're putting in your art, and it's great. You as a fan, you can see that you guys are really involved in every aspect of making of those records, and afterwards, when we see the live concerts, it's even better because you can get it deconstructed with old songs and all. Because I'm a big concert guys. I love listening to records to A to Z because it's how it's supposed to be done, not on random and with a physical media in hand. But the concerts, that's where the music gets alive.
Yes, I agree.
I miss
the human element that you can't get on a record or on the internet.
Yeah.
You can't.
The mistakes or the glances or I don't know, the chemistry between the players on stage or the interaction with the crowd a little bit and what's happening that night.
That's why I'm such a big fan of Broadway musicals. I love them.
Okay.
Just watching how they work, watching how they interact, the music, all of it's in your face, happening now. It's unbelievable, and I love it. Like I'm a classics like West Side Story, stuff like that. I love it. I love them. I love going to Les Mis. I think Les Mis is amazing. I thought the Les Mis movie was amazing too.
Okay,
I loved it.
I'm not a big musical guy. Sorry.
Oh my God, do yourself a favor. Les Mis is a fucking horror movie.
Okay.
It is a horror movie.
But speaking of musical.
It's really weird. It's crazy, the shit that happens in there.
Okay.
The songs are fantastic. It's deviance on a level that's way beyond most horror movies.
Okay. Okay, you were intriguing me.
Look at it from that perspective, that this is really fucking weird, and these guys have turned this into a musical. It's strange. And I loved, did you see the South Park guys one, the Book of Mormon?
No, I wanted. I think it was sold out in Montreal, in a snap.
It's so good. It's so good. It's just, oh my God. I just love that kind of stuff. I love it.
They should have been a musical out of the Phantom of the Paradise.
Phantom Paradise, yeah, that would have been good. Yeah.
But I think we're going to wrap up this really nice chat with you. Thank you very much. With a really hard question for you. If you had to put up a top 3, to your 3 favorite horror movies.
What
would it be?
3 favorite horror movies. I think The Thing is really good.
Oh, yeah.
Not the original, the remake.
The remake, the Carpenter one, yeah.
It's essentially a haunted house movie.
Yeah.
Not unlike Alien is similar, which would be a haunted house movie. We don't know where it is. It's out there.
Right. That's right.
Similar vibe. But Alien to me was a takeoff on Planet of the Vampires and The Terror from Beyond Space. It's essentially the same concept when you watch it.
That's right. That's right.
So I would say The Thing, which I think is a horror movie. I would put that, but it's also a sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
Might be a little different.
It's okay.
It's scary.
Oh, yeah.
Arguably, that scene in the dog kennel, the first scene in the dog kennel with what happens. The first time I saw that, I couldn't believe it. I was like, what the hell? I've never seen anything like that. Head splitting open, weird way that they did it, how beautiful it all looked. The sculptures of the dogs are so beautiful. The thing itself is so amazing. It's such a work of beauty.
It keeps changing. Rob Bottin is an amazing artist.
And when the head separates from the body later and crawls, it's way beyond.
Yeah.
Carpenter he'll never do anything better than that.
Mm-hmm.
Perfection, in movie making, and it sounds amazing. It looks amazing. Kurt Russell is
great,
awesome in that. Yeah, everybody in that movie is good. Every actor in that movie is good. No women in the movie. Mm-hmm. All guys.
That's right.
Totally great. It's totally great.
I watched it again this winter. There was a big blizzard in Montreal, and it still works in 2021. It's amazing.
It's still good. Yeah. I even like the prequel.
Yeah, me too. I think they did a good job. They tried to put physical effects as well a little bit, but
it was still like, I like the way that they went back and recreated all the things that the guys find. It was really cool.
Yeah, me too.
Down to the axe in the wall, everything that, it was really, really cool. Not as good as the first one, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah. 3 other horror movies. Let's think. God, if I had to pick.
It's kind of hard.
Yeah. Bride of Frankenstein would be up there. That's a really good one. I really like that one. That's an easy one, though. Let's think of something weirder. Horror movies. Gosh, it's tough.
Or the movie that you love so much that you keep buying the new edition, the more HD or 4K, or I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really. No? I can't. Nothing like that.
Okay.
Horror movie. I would have to. I would say maybe. What's the name? Oh, A Curse of Frankenstein, the Hammer one.
Okay.
That's a really good one.
Uh-huh.
And even though it's not along the same lines, I like The Hound of the Baskervilles too, but that's not a horror movie. That was a really good one. Hammer does it the best, I think, And you're also probably not going to agree with me, but I love Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah, it's one of the best Tim Burton's movies.
Great.
It's awesome.
I love that movie.
Chris Walker.
Oh my God, the way it looks.
Walken. Sorry.
Walken. Yeah. He didn't have many lines to learn.
But he got those.
That's all he did. No lines. And I love that movie. It's definitely a horror movie.
Yeah, definitely.
Really cool.
It's a gothic movie, and it's before. I think before Johnny Depp got too full of himself. He was great in it.
It's fucking great. Mm-hmm. I think, and people shit talk that movie. I'm like, you're out of your mind. From the top to bottom, the opening scene with the pumpkin on the it's everything I love.
Yeah,
I love. I'm a total sucker for goth stuff. That's why I like Underworld so much.
Yeah. But I won't go back to watch Underworld, but I will go back to watch Sleepy Hollow this October. I think it's a great Halloween movie.
It's really good. Love it. Awesome. People that, I think people don't take it seriously for some reason. And it's good. It's funny. Mm-hmm. The monster's great. The Headless Horseman's great.
Oh yeah.
And you can tell watching that movie how much he loved Hammer horror movies. Mm-hmm. It looks like a way more updated version of a Hammer horror. Everything from the way it looks. And Hammer horror movies really like I know the Corman ones. Like Pit and the Pendulum.
The Mask of the Red Death.
Mask of Red, but Pit and the Pendulum to me is the best one.
Oh yeah.
Arbor Black Sunday. I love the Black Sunday. Another one that's super goth.
Mario Bava, right?
Yep. Bava. And that one, I think what was that called? It was called Mask of Satan. Oh. Was the original name. But here it was called, in America, it was called, probably in Canada too, it was called Black Sunday.
Yeah, Black Sunday, that's right.
Yeah.
Wow. I could chat about horror movies and metal forever.
My list,
Hey, thank you so much, Buzz. That was a blast. Just chatting away like two horror fans.
I love movies. Movies are one of my favorite things. Nobody ever asked me about that stuff ever.
Oh, I will ask you, next year in a few years. but hopefully I'm going to be able to see you live in Montreal in the foreseeable future. And I can't wait to go back to concerts. And I guess you too. Yeah,
it's been hard. Mm-hmm. I've had a hard time with it. We've made as much music as we can. And did 3 podcasts, or streaming shows. Mm-hmm. But beyond that, I don't know what else to do. We have a bunch of stuff already recorded. 36 song, new album. So
yeah, exactly. The 5-legged dogs, right?
Like a dog. Yeah.
So people, you need to go listen to that great best of record. It's a lot of fun. Sounds amazing, and hopefully one day we're gonna see you back in concert in Montreal.
Thank you so much for your interest.
No problem. Thanks to you.
See you later.
Okay.
Okay. Bye bye.
Cheers.
Yep. Bye bye.
Bye.